The fake kid, the Netflix kid, or the missing kid, whichever way you put it, these kids, they are not real. They are being used sometimes for their own PR, for their own brand. Sometimes they are being sidelined. In other words, whenever they would be needed to make money for these parents, they would use them. But before we talk about this, I want you to understand this one, because this is why they are using their kids to make money. If you're new to the channel, consider to subscribe. So basically what happened is that Spotify, they have cut 200 jobs recently. They had 600 employees getting laid off only 5 months ago. These are all big losses for Spotify. They do not want to do this because this company was doing really great until this happened. So what happened? Let's talk about more losses before we say what happened. They also, not only that they laid off these people and they fired them, but also they parted ways with Don Ostroff, the executive who oversaw the transition of the company from this Spotify, this product, to podcast product. Spotify was not known only for podcast, it was known for many other things. But Don Ostroff, he encouraged the company to do podcasting, and he said, I will take care of it, but it failed spectacularly. Also, we know in 2022, they have lost 430 million euros. They have posted this loss on their website, and this is a sign that the company was doing horribly. And again, that happened until this person came into the picture. We'll talk about that later. By November, when they launched this new podcast of Duchess of Sausages, they said the first few days, I think for even 1 week, they said, well, this podcast of Duchess of Sausages is #1 and it is creating a lot of buzz and a lot of people are getting interested in Spotify. Then guess what? Only after a few months of launching this Duchess of Sausages podcast, this podcast, they had so much hope. They pinned their hope was sitting at 22nd in the chart of podcast. Means it did not even rank in the top 1 to 10 or even 20. And so if you take a look at all of this, you know that since since they started using Duchess of Sausages and Duke of Doofuses, this company had big loss and they laid off a lot of people. And not only that, guys, this is just going to make it much worse, because they are going to be, we already have talked about this, they have axed Meghan, Duchess of Sausages, from any future undertaking of her podcast with all of this garbage she was spitting on this platform. Nobody believed her, nobody really liked her, it all backfired. Why I'm talking about Spotify if I'm talking about the kid? Well, you will see the connection here very soon. Now we have seen how Lili's, the fake kid, birthday was not celebrated by her own parents. It was not celebrated by the monarchy in UK. Nobody cared. Nobody sent any warm wishes, except that we know King Charles, he raised a toast or something like that. But that's about it. And this is not what happened just this year. It also happened last year. I mean, we do not have to mention that the Queen did not give anything from her 500 million euros to Lili. Nothing. And a lot of you have said it right, that the reason she did not give anything to Lili was because she doesn't exist. Lili doesn't exist. Did she give anything to Archie? We do not know. I'm not going to be making any comment without knowledge. But looks like to me he was getting something. He will be getting something. But Lili, for sure, we know from International Business Time news that Lili got nothing. So if you take a look at all of those things happening with Lili, one thing you see clearly, that the monarchy has problem. We do not see the parents, Meghan and Harry, celebrating her birthday, not being able to provide us any proof that she exists. The only time you see them is when they will be needed. So for example, this is why I call them Netflix kid. They are Netflix kid. They exist only in front of cameras. When she will be making a phone call, whenever she will be doing a Zoom call, voila, all of a sudden the kid will appear and the photo miraculously will become viral. Of course, nothing is miraculous because Meghan would make those photos viral. She will be posting it. She will be instructing her PR team to use those photos with her kid, the fake kid again, to pull at the heartstrings of people so that people will be like, oh, these are the kids, they look so cute, they're with Meghan Markle. But we know at the end of the day, all they wanted from the kid was more attention, publicity, pulling at the heartstrings, and doing so, making money. So when we talk about Spotify, I want to now connect the dots. Spotify is a big failure for her, Duke of Duffuses and Duchess of Sausages. And this is why perhaps we have seen them how desperate they were to bring on Harry on board. At the very end of those episodes, they were talking about to bring Harry, make him do the podcast, while Duchess of Sausages will do the production of the podcast. But that did not happen, and according to my understanding, it was that time by November when the podcast did not pan out. That was the time when the relationship was getting much worse between Meghan and Harry. They could not see living with each other, especially for Meghan. She did not see anything in Harry that would make her successful. Remember, Duchess of Sausages, the narcissist, and this is the characteristic of people. They want to be with you as long as that will benefit them financially or in whatever way. When she saw this narcissist, that this guy, Harry, is not making her podcast a success, because this is how they think. You are responsible for my success. Okay, whatever I do doesn't matter. You have to be there to make it a success. When she saw that, well, this is not happening, then she decided, you know what? No, I'm not interested in you. I need to move on to the next target. And that was the time when we started to see that she was distancing from Harry. And if you remember the video they posted about John Elton, he's ending his tour, I think European tour, something like that. And they appeared in front of camera wishing him all the best, but there was something off. And I spotted that right off the bat. I said, something is off about this whole video. Both of them are having big trouble relationship wise, but forget about that. So now that what is happening is that because this Spotify was a big failure, spectacularly failed, now they're signing up with mega companies, PR firms, to improve their image. And we have talked about the WME sign the deal in the past videos. Now there is this new report. Now this is where I want you to pay really attention. There is this new report where Meghan is signing up with another mega PR firm, and she doesn't want this to be a failure like Spotify. I mean, everything she is doing is failing, whether signing up with something, whether going to a place, everything is just a big failure, a big disaster. Now she wants that signing up with this talent agency or PR firm, she wants that to be a huge success. But of course we know, and she also knows, whatever she does is a failure, right? What she is doing now is that she is using her kids, the fake kids again, as a pawn in order to improve her image in the public eyes. Yes, you will say, well, no, this is already too late. We already know she doesn't have any talent. We're not interested. But would that stop Duchess of Sausages from using the kids as a pawn? No, not at all. And this is where this report is coming, where we see that she is getting even more desperate. All this time, she was not showing the kid unless it will bring her money, i.e. from Netflix. And now this time, she is doing exactly the same. She is showing the babies, the kid, fake kid again, to get more attention, to improve her image, to pull at the heartstrings of people. Doing that, making more money and becoming more successful. This is a person who is a very good example of what it is to be a narcissist. She can use you. She has used her husband, didn't work. She is now using her kids, which is the most disgusting thing that we can talk about. Parents using their kids for their own success. But this is what is happening, guys.
Now, what's interesting also is that Meghan, as we now know, has signed up to a mega new agency. Tough call for them, let me tell you. I don't know how they're going to rebrand someone that really does have quite a negative impact over here, particularly in the United Kingdom. We're told time and time again that they are very popular with the American public, but I fail to see that after the NYC debacle. And as we saw, of course, Meghan and Harry were very keen to make sure that their children were seen for the very first time, sometime for senior members of the British monarchy to actually see pictures of their children. That's how bad it's truly got. You will recall that they paraded them, bath time, birthday parties, everything went into their Netflix documentary. But after all, as Meghan said, wouldn't it be better to hear our stories from the people that have actually lived it? Well, that's right. And for money, you got to see the children.
If you're new to the channel, consider to subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.